What's good, everyone, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we react to Food Theory Blue Raspberry is a Complete Lie. Now, that's a curious thing to say, in all honesty. Because I don't understand how Blue Raspberry can be a lie. I mean, I had the stuff, like, a bunch of times. But then again, I had it as a, frozen drink. Like one of those slushies you would get at Dunkin' or, like, at Taco Bell and or McDonald's and something, and stuff like that. So, I don't understand what this would mean. Because if that's the case, then that basically means my whole life was a lie. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button down below. Hit the subscribe button to support the channels, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Hit the notification button, be notified immediately when a new video comes out. Other than that, if you have any videos you'd like to recommend, leave it down in the comment section below. I'll react to you as soon as possible. The link to this video will be down in the description, so be sure to give Food Theory some love and support for the video they made. Other than that, hope you'll enjoy, and let's start this video, shall we?
Boy, oh boy, I love snow cones. What flavor did you get, Tom? Grape?
True.
Do I have to say this? I just love it. Oh, me too. How about you, Amy?
Tiger's blood.
Oh, you would.
What flavor's that?
Strawberry, watermelon, and coconut. Mwah, so good.
Oh, that sounds delicious. And what did you get, head editor Dan?
Blue.
But blue isn't a flavor, Dan. What flavor did you get?
Blue. Do you mean blue raspberry? He's blue.
No, cause blue raspberries aren't a real thing. It's not a real flavor. So again, I ask, what flavor did you get, Dan?
Blue.
Oh!
Blue.
That's hilarious. I know raspberries are a real thing, but is blue raspberry not a real thing?
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Food.
I think there's black raspberries.
Towards the betterment of humanity. Theorists, we have got to talk about the unique culinary oddity that is blue. The color, the flavor, blue. You see, blue is the world's favorite color, and it's not hard to see why. We associate blue with positive things. The sky, the ocean, style theory, but they're not actually truly blue. They're just the product of light refracting in a particular way. When it comes to things that are actually blue, scientists believe that blue is the rarest color to occur in nature. This is because there are relatively few blue pigments that are found in the natural world, and because of that rarity, when they do occur, they're often meant to serve as a warning. I mean, just look at this cutie pie. Don't you just want to cuddle him up with those cute little blue rings and tentacles? Well, don't, because he carries enough venom to kill 26 adult humans in a matter of minutes. There are also some indigo plants, which are used to produce natural blue dyes, which contain a toxic chemical called indigo. Ingesting or inhaling the chemical can cause symptoms such as vomiting, diarrhea, and convulsions. And of course, there's the blue poison dart frog. I mean, with a name like that, I don't really think I need to explain how this blue is trying to scare me away. And yet, despite how unnatural blue is and how it's basically a big old red flag indicating danger, or I suppose I should say a big old blue flag indicating danger, when it comes to food, we humans eat it up. When M&M's wanted to revitalize the brand in the mid-90s, blue crushed the fan vote, beating the other two options of pink and purple with an overwhelming 54% of the 11 votes. To celebrate, they lit up the empire.
Oh, 10 million.
Blue.
Got it.
That one change would go down in history as one of the company's most successful campaigns. More recently, in a fan vote for favorite flavors of Sour Patch Kids, Blue Raspberry took the crown despite being released 20 years after the original.
I prefer orange or red.
Now gets its own exclusive flavor packaging. And before you say anything, it doesn't stop at candies either. Blue cocktails have been getting their moment in the sun. Hannah fame started a bit of a trend last year when she posted her
Not really a big fan of that one.
It seemed like an innocent thing. Oh, blue cocktails are so in right now. But they are in, and they continue to be in, and they continue to dominate. Cool Blue? Yep, that is the highest selling Gatorade flavor. I can almost guarantee that none of you can actually tell me what Cool Blue tastes like. In fact, any
I
of the
prefer
things-
orange and red.
You in the back, you know that blue M&Ms taste like chocolate. Sit down. I ask again, minus this food, what is the flavor of blue? Don't worry, I'll wait. What was that? Oh, blue raspberry? Yeah, sure. But what exactly is blue raspberry? You see, even though at this point we've kind of just accepted this as a thing that exists, when you stop and think for a minute, there are so many questions to ask about that unnatural concoction. Like, what flavor is it really? Blue raspberries do not exist. If you've seen photos, they've been doctored. If you've seen videos, they've been retouched. If you think you've eaten them, you are wrong. Blue raspberry is not real and has never been real. So then, what is this imaginary flavor that we all love? And also, why did they choose raspberry, of all things, to represent this imaginary flavor? Raspberries are blue. There are perfectly good berries out there that are actually blue, so why not use them? You don't even have to taste the same. It's not like grape-flavored things taste like grapes. If they did, your blow pop would taste like a LaCroix. Your snow cone would taste like water that sat next to something sweet a week ago. That is the real flavor.
True.
Of grape. So why not
Snow cones are freaking delicious.
Why create a completely berry to
Especially
be
during a
based
good
on
summer
flavor
day.
in an unnatural color of food? We live in a world where pudding now comes in flavors of dragon, unicorn, and mermaid. Sure, mermaid. Ariel would taste like. I mean, closer to the salty
Didn't know that any of these existed.
But sure, all of this is fiction anyway. It's all made up. None
I
of
prefer
it is
chocolate and
real.
vanilla
Is that
pudding.
a blue Sour Patch Kids pudding cup, an energy drink. This stuff is everywhere. So
I know about blue gummy bears, but I didn't know about the energy drink and all that.
This stuff so popular. Why for this specific berry? And most puzzling of all, what are you actually ingesting when you eat it? Well, friends, call me Reverse Morpheus, because today I'm about to show you the literal blue pill. As I mentioned before, no, blue raspberries aren't real. It's possible that whoever first had the idea to put raspberry flavor and blue dye together into the same food might have been inspired by a strain of the fruit called white bark raspberries, aka Rubius leucodermis, which takes on a bright indigo tint when they're at their ripest point. But these real things, yeah, they're not the color of blue raz as we know it today. They're also not typically cultivated at the rates where anyone would be mass-producing extract from these things either, so that's not the real flavor here either. Notice, though, that I said whoever had the idea. You see, it's somewhat in dispute who first had the idea to pair this so-called raspberry flavor with blue dye number 2. Far and away the most commonly used specific shade of FDA-approved food coloring for this exact purpose, but it's believed to have first emerged as an eye-catcher additive to cotton candy and fountain soda at concession stands and circuses. Eventually, it would be picked up and mass-produced in the frozen
Fountain sodas?
1970s. Two separate
Okay, yeah, the
companies
slushy would make sense.
have capitalized off of the idea of blue raspberry. First, Icy, those frozen Slurpee drinks that you sometimes find in grocery stores or gas stations. Second,
Man, I really want an icy now.
Cubes of liquid sugar that you get during the summer months because they're cheaper than normal popsicles. But then no one has the scissors
True.
to open them when you actually want to eat them, so then you just try to rip them open with your teeth, then it kind of like splatters. Oh, now I got a mouthful of plastic, and sometimes there's like the weird margarita flavor. Anyway, both of these claim
Yeah, had to deal with that as a kid.
version of their product. Icy already had themselves a blue element to their logo, so they didn't really have to change any branding. Meanwhile, Otter Pops went so far as to introduce an entirely new character to their roster, named Louis Blue, a blue French otter who carries a flower. Also, can I just say it at this point? I didn't realize that Otter Pops
weird.
had personas, and it's kind of sending me right now. They even have themselves a line of Funko Pops. And why is the orange character sad?
Really?
It's 'cause she's
Yeah,
an
Funko?
orphan. Oh, jeez. Is there Otter Pop lore that I have to be aware of here? Do I have to do an Otter Pop lore theory? What even is my life at this point? Okay, so now that we know who did it, why blue? Well, if you read online, most articles will talk about
Why not blue?
associating the flavor of raspberry with a specific color. Sure, raspberries in nature are usually some form of red, purple, or a shade in between, but a lot of other popular flavors are also strongly associated with those exact same colors. You couldn't use purple, that's for grape. Red, that's usually cherry, which is why strawberry then has to be pink. Watermelon is sometimes green, unless the product line already has a sour apple variant, which case it's gonna go pink. But pink's already taken up by strawberry, and oh my gosh, already this is really tough. So yeah, raspberry had to be blue almost by default. It was the last pick on the field, the one that didn't have any other strong associations. And well, yes, this is the most widely accepted reason historically for why blue raspberry has stuck around as long as it has. There's another more fundamental reason for the presence of blue raspberry that everyone tends to overlook, truck, people didn't want to die. Believe it or not, originally most products artificially flavored with a raspberry tinge did try to mimic the appearance of raspberries themselves. Raspberry Blow Pops, Raspberry Jolly Ranchers, Laffy Taffy, and Cowan Leaders. All of them started as red, but later changed to a blue color. Why? Well, if you're old enough or you have yourself some older relatives, you might have heard the stories about red M&Ms not existing for a decade because people thought that they were poisonous. Yep, that is a real thing that happened, and it was because of a real public health panic over FD&C Red Number 2, aka Amaranth, an industrial.
Are you serious?
Resemblance to red flowers, Amaranth was cited as a
What?
potential cancer-causing agent in several scientific studies published in the 1970s, which led to
Was this a thing?
use throughout the U.S. This public fear was actually so widespread that even foods that didn't use Red Number 2, like M&Ms, stopped making red products altogether because they were worried that consumers would fear all red dyes. But since Amaranth is a little closer to reddish purple than bright red, products that were using Red Number 2 tended to be raspberry flavored. So when the FDA banned its use in the U.S., the Raz suddenly needed, literally, a whole new image. And Blue Number 2 was just sitting there at the ready. And even though now, with more sophisticated dye technology and way more hues and color nuances available, Blue Raz got itself nicely established as the color for the raspberry flavor profile in pop culture. And in case you were wondering, the FDA considers Blue Number 2 to be among the least harmful color-related food additives. So now that we know the who and the why, it's finally time to get the what. What actually is the flavor of this made-up imaginary berry? Because
That's-
alert, it ain't raspberry anymore. To understand what it is, we
That's a good question.
back to 1922.
I mean,
a chemical engineer named
it is really different.
With his 900 patents, Melvin is often considered to be the second greatest American inventor behind Thomas Edison. And the ripples of his work can actually...
I am kind of curious about that because whenever I have a blue raspberry drink, it tastes freaking amazing.
But de Groot was able to find chemical-based solutions that made it less corrosive. But his work also crossed into the food world. He's rumored to have helped create magic shell chocolate that hardens on ice cream. He's also said to have secretly reformulated the recipe for Coca-Cola when any alcohol-based ingredients were outlawed during Prohibition. My Diet Coke addiction thanks you, sir. But it's his observations
That is true.
20s that has me talking about him today. As the story
If he
goes,
didn't do that, we probably wouldn't have all the amazing sodas we have now.
consistently outsell the natural pale yellow variety. He later proved that most people couldn't
True.
identify a soda as grape flavored unless it was explicitly colored as purple. These were actually some of the first studies done on the relationship between color and flavor, and they showed that you could decouple flavor from natural color. Heck, you could decouple flavor from itself. Just say what people are tasting and they'll believe you. With a little bit of branding, you can make people believe that they're tasting anything. Enter the world of artificial flavors. If a human sense of taste is really so easy to control and manipulate, why not do that more regularly? In 1869, a German chemist named Konstantin Fahlberg accidentally discovered the sweet taste of saccharin while he was working in his lab. This then led to the creation of the first artificial sweetener. And from there, throughout the rest of the early 20th century, the use of artificial flavors and colorings started to become more widespread. One of the first and most notable developments was the creation of synthetic vanillin in 1874, which made what was historically an expensive and difficult to obtain flavor into something that anyone could afford and use. Something that we actually covered in a previous food theory. World War II also increased demand for artificial flavors as the war created shortages of all natural products. This was a trend that would continue after the war then as demand for processed and packaged foods grew. But it was in the 1950s and 60s when food companies began to invest heavily in research and development of new artificial flavors and colors, resulting in the creation of many...
That weirdly makes sense.
Grape, cherry, bubblegum, and yes, raspberry. So what then is the actual flavor of blue raspberry? Well, in the breakdown, there are actually 4 key components. The first is ethyl maltol, which has a sweet caramel-like aroma and is commonly used in the food industry to enhance flavors. Next up is methylenthranolate, which has a fruity, grape-like or cherry-like aroma. Then it's isoamyl acetate, which has a fruity, banana-like aroma. And then they finish it off with some malic acid, a natural acid that's found across many fruits, including raspberries, to give the candy a tart, acidic taste. And there you have your blue raspberry flavor with nary a raspberry in sight. So yeah, at the end of the
So it's a bit of raspberry mixed with lemonade with blue food coloring.
The color used to cause you cancer, so they made it blue, and the flavor is only what you think raspberries are supposed to taste like, which is apparently a mix of grapes, cherries, banana, and acid. Disillusioning? Yeah, maybe. Probably should have taken the red pill all along. As for me, I've always been more of a grape guy myself. And don't even get me started on the fact that grape doesn't taste like grape. Probably an episode for another day. But until that day comes, remember, it's all just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit.
What? So, blue raspberry is grape, banana, raspberry, lemonade, some kind of chemical to make food taste stronger, which is technically a weird, harmless acid, which is probably in food coloring, and all that, with a bit of lemon. At least that's what that's what I think I understand. It's a weird thing to process, in all honesty, in my opinion. But it really doesn't change the fact that it's freaking delicious. I love blue raspberry, but even knowing all this, it doesn't really change a thing for me. I mean, it might change a thing for all of you, but for me, it doesn't really change anything. I love blue raspberry, so I'm not going to really change anything about me drinking it or something like that. I mean, I wouldn't. So, yeah. There you go. Hope you all enjoyed this video. It was an interesting thing to go over what blue raspberry is, how it was developed and all that. At least I now know what it tastes like. Probably would explain why at times I get this taste when drinking blue raspberry that just seems familiar. Strange thing that happened in the world. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content provided, and so on and so forth. Hit the notification button, be notified immediately when the new video comes out. In the comment section below, tell me what you think about all these, and tell me your favorite flavor drink. Or favorite flavor in context when it comes to food. Honestly, I prefer blue raspberry. Second, the red cherry. The red cherry stuff is pretty good too. Along with banana being a third. Because I had a banana Slurpee when I was younger, and it was delicious. And I don't really see it anymore these days, so that's pretty much of a bummer. But I will always remember the taste. It was freaking amazing. So yeah. Hope you all tell me what your favorite flavors are down in the comment section below. I would really like to hear it. Other than that, the link to this video will be down in the description below. With this all said, I hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!